It's been interspersed, like really good blood for a while, and then really dried up for a while, and then good blood, and then dried up. We've gone about 215 yards. And I haven't been on a blood trail quite like this one. I think I'm just gonna back out, come back out in daylight if I'm pushing this deer. Yeah, I just don't know.
It's the morning of November 2nd. It's about an hour and a half before shooting light. Back on the same farm, and there's a lot of sign in this bottom. We know there's deer on this farm. The dang south wind is killing us, man. For the first 7 days of November, all we're having is south winds, and it seems like everything over here, you need a north wind to hunt. We're just in the grind now on day 2. Mark shot a deer last night. And man, I'm really hoping he can find it. But the deer ran further than you'd expect a really well-hit deer to run. So, man, I'm gonna be looking for some updates from him. Tony's still on public land in Minnesota.
And I just caught a glimpse of a deer running out and then running back in where they were. So I think there's a buck chasing them.
It's Janis' first day of hunting. He trick-or-treated with the kids. Now he's in Wisconsin on the family land, and it'd be fun to get Janis up in a tree.
I'm hunting the hill country. These people call it the hill country. It's not flat farmland. A real pain in the butt in these hills because it likes to go over ridges and then recirculate. And in these valleys, it doesn't stay a constant direction, which is why I get on top and hunt the ridge tops.
Spencer is on public land in Montana, seeing a bunch of deer, and today we're gonna kill a deer.
There we go.
It's morning for me, and I actually have a couple trail cameras in the area this year that I haven't checked now in a little over a week. On the way in, I'm gonna pull those cards, check them on my laptop real quick, see if there's anything encouraging. Even if there were just some does walking by, that would make me feel a bit more optimistic for this morning.
This camera showed another hunter, different person, rolled through about 5 days ago. Almost no action on this camera except for one buck that rolled through right at shooting light. Not real consistent. This is the best info I have to go off of, so we're gonna set up here anyway, even though it's doesn't feel like a slam dunk. First day for me whitetail hunting of the year. First day in the saddle. First day in the tree for the year too. And just like getting the system organized, it takes a day. So, like I don't even have my rangefinder out yet, and it's shooting light. I don't have an arrow knocked. I need to get my program tight. The sun about to come up or just came up here. We saw 4 does filter through, basically right where I'd want them to. Hopefully there's a buck with them. This feels like a reenactment of last year. November 2nd. Just maybe 2 minutes to legal shooting light here. Pretty windy already. It's supposed to hit 40-mile-per-hour winds today, which up here is going to be a nightmare. So I think this is going to be a couple hours trying to catch one cruising. But I've got just a really cool creek bottom below me that has some water in it. And there's a pinch point along that creek right below where there's this pounded trail. Comes up to this little does bedded in that wood lot. And some decent buck sign in there. And the visibility's awesome compared to yesterday, so I'm starting to feel like it was worth it to carry all this crap in here and set up. It sounds like Clay's already set up. I haven't heard from the other guys yet.
Oh man, I may write a country song called Hanging in Oklahoma. I'm gonna do that. So I wanted to make y'all a video so that you could know the melody of the song. Hanging in Oklahoma, no one in the woods but me, trying to kill a buck deer to set my soul free. Hanging in Oklahoma, just trying to be me, but all those jealous Yankee haters wish they... Yep, this is good. I just sent it to him. But all those jealous Yankee haters wish they could bait a deer as good as me.
He sucks. It's a good thing he's good on camera, because the guy can't write worth a shit.
Oh, he wrote his own verse. Hanging in Minnesota. I can't say that.
Just barely caught a look at it. Looked like one doe and 3 fawns up in this private field above, and she took off, or they all took off, down into the creek bottom. And then I just caught a glimpse of a deer running out and then running back in where they were. So I think there's a buck chasing them. They're like half a mile away, so they're probably not going to end up in my world. It's been real quiet from the boys. Maybe Mark found his buck, because it was not looking good.
You know, last night went back and tried to look at the footage on the computer. And it was, right there at the end of the light. You just can't really clearly see it. So, waited till the next morning because I just couldn't see blood well enough last night when it slowed down. And gonna head back out to where I marked the pin. I left the hat out there. And I'm just crossing all my fingers and toes for a happy ending. He's dead. We were within feet of him last night. He was right there last night dead, and I didn't see him. Literally, we must have been walking all around. He's right there.
Oh. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh man, he's amazing. Holy smokes.
I am just at an absolute loss right now. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous deer. Like I thought, that hit was high, but it must have got the top of the lungs. There's all sorts of bubbles and stuff.
Oh, he found it. Man, I'm so happy for him. That's incredible. Look, big heavy horned. Oh, I was gonna be heartbroken if Mark didn't find that deer.
Almost just a giant 6-pointer. Oh my goodness.
And Mark could get some redemption. That is really fitting for Mark. Last year, he was the only guy on the team that didn't kill a deer. But he missed one, a big one, on the last day. And it's one of those deals you just feel terrible for him, you truly do. So for him to get a big one on the first day this year seems right.
Unreal. Ups and downs in November. One moment you're in the lowest of lows, next moment buck's 15 yards away from where you were last night.
This is something a lot of people have trouble with. If they're used to hunting private land and then they go sit public, it looks so good. It's kind of like elk hunting an over-the-counter unit and getting into a meadow. You know, the meadow looks great, looks like where you'd expect elk to be, but they've been pushed into the black timber for 2 weeks because all the pressure. This spot, if you had this on private, you'd see cruisers, but this is a function of the pressure. It's just not there.
For whatever reason, like I said, I've only sat this tree twice. And I've had a little bit more of a westerly wind, which would blow my scent that way. Today it's south, so it's blowing into this bowl, but the reason I'm sitting up on this ridge is that hopefully it blows, you know, off the ridge and up into these treetops, and my scent doesn't drop down in there. If they come the way they're supposed to come, it's really a nice setup because we really do have a nice screen. You know, hopefully, even if we're swinging around a little bit, they shouldn't notice us. By the time they pop out, I should be at full draw. That's what makes tree stand hunting or ambush hunting cool. So you just sit here and critters just walk by. Not just deer, but things like a porcupine. You could say, oh yeah, whatever, it's a porcupine, but I think you really have to think about how cool that is. And we just have these little 5 to 10 pound critters walking around that are covered in thousands of quills that can detach from their body and stick in things that try to eat them. It's badass. There's nothing else like it in the world.
It's a pretty slow morning. We saw a handful of does. Heard a couple rifle shots. There's more competition in here than I anticipated. I'm gonna get out of here now. Try to come up with a new plan.
I think for tonight, I'm gonna set up where I scouted on October 31st, which was where I parked my vehicle about a quarter mile that way. It feels like the right play after hardly seeing anything these last few hunts.
I'm gonna go ahead and get down early this morning because I've got to go in and hang a set on this. There's a big new 8-point that's on a farm that I've never hunted, but I've got a cell camera over there and I was getting pictures of him this morning. And I don't want to sit till noon and then go hang the stand and then hunt it right away. I'd rather get over there, hang the stand kind of this morning, get out of there, let it cool down, and then just slip back in there. So this was a bad move, just dead. So I'm gonna pull this set, carry it back out, and then go in to that river bottom spot I found the other day.
I don't want to get down out of my tree, but I'm going to. I'm going to go help my dad move his stand and then get back in the woods for the evening sit. So it was a successful morning. Saw a couple does, heard what I think was a buck pushing a doe. Not complaining.
There's a dead buck right here. That sucks. It's been a weird year for me.
everybody who's gonna watch this to know that everybody else on this show took the easy way out. They're all hunting cushy private land, got people baiting for them, got people just setting up. And I'm sitting here like a dumbass on public land, the smell of fresh cow shit wafting through the air, that's mixed with the very gross dead buck smell right behind me. I've got maybe 2 shooting holes here. And then my cameraman just knocked my arrow off onto the ground. But I don't think I'm gonna need arrows anyway. So I hope it's going better for the rest of the crew.
It's 1:15 right now, getting dark at about 7 o'clock. I'm gonna go in right now and just sit the rest of the afternoon. I'm trying to not get smelled by these deer like I did yesterday. This is the drink of big buck killers. And I've known a few. And the one thing I know that they all do is drink Diet Dr. Pepper. And guaranteed, if you're a big buck killer, you're drinking Diet Dr. Pepper. And that's why I've joined forces with Diet Dr. Pepper to bring to you the most mediocre drink of all time. People have the most ridiculous, spurious correlations, folks. That's what it's called, spurious correlations. When there actually are correlations, like if someone does this, they do this, but the two things are completely disconnected. A lot of the ridiculous things that hunters do are spurious correlations. Spencer Newharth is a spurious correlation. His beard and his face and his personality have no relevance to one another.
This wind almost feels a little dangerous. It is freaking smoking in here. They say that the gusts are supposed to be 40 miles an hour, which doesn't really mean it that much until you're up in them in the plains where there's no trees hardly. And you're in a little tree. This is like a mechanical bowl here. No deer sightings yet, but I did hear somebody shoot some pheasants over here, so there's that going on. Looks like Clay has a mule in there feeding on his corn.
There aren't supposed to be mules on this section, but this mule is jumping the fence or getting through the fence somehow and coming over here. I'd probably give that man $1,000 for that mule.
So it seems like it's a scramble for everybody. Except Mark, he's riding that. Killed a buck high, which is awesome for him. But I'm sitting here questioning my life choices because I would shoot a forky right now and I can't get one to walk in.
It's not the way it's supposed to be going. It's supposed to be blowing out of the south, which I'm feeling now. But all that milkweed moved to the west, which should be like an east wind, which is fine for where I'm sitting. Where I'm hoping to get a shot is directly to my east. My wind's going out of the south to the north. And I'm expecting
expecting these deer to come from like a kind of a real micro saddle here, cut below me, and then get onto another ridge going out that way, or vice versa.
All right, it's 6 o'clock here in Nebraska, day 2, and you know, the whole thing I was talking about earlier in the week about the rut being a roller coaster. Well, today was that in a microcosm, but found my buck. Ended up being a double lung shot, got the top of both lungs, and got him back, cut him up, got him on ice. He's in the cooler now, and I am headed to Ohio. Did not think I'd be heading to Ohio on day 2, but really, really grateful that's the case.
Down to about the last couple minutes here on day 2. Just had a little bit of go ahead, 2 does, get the zoomies over across the river, running big circles real fast. I thought for sure there'd be a buck moving in on them, but not what I could see. Well, that's the end of the second day of the first week of November.
Pretty disappointed that I didn't see a deer. Really felt like we were gonna see some bucks tonight. There was one small buck that came in with these does and he was grunting and carrying on. Yeah, pretty frustrated. This warm weather just has them not moving that much, even though I'm certain that they're bucks chasing and even with does right now too. So tomorrow's day 3. You know what they say about day 3? Third time's a charm. That's what they say. I don't know who they are, but that's what they say.